Hi friends, welcome back. We're going to do another story problem. Before we get started on our story problem for today, I want to review our story problems poster. The story problems that we have been working on are addition or subtraction, and we have to decide before we solve it which it is, addition or subtraction, so that we know that we're solving it the correct way. So we look for different things that we know about story problems. One of the things is when we are adding addition, we use the plus sign in our story, in our number sentences. And when we are subtracting, we use the minus sign in our number sentences. The sum, which is the answer to an addition problem, will be bigger than the numbers that we start with. And when we're subtracting, we call the answer the difference. The difference will be smaller than the number we started with. Some clue words or some important words that we see that in the story that might give us a clue that we are going to add are the words all together. In all, if in the story someone got more or someone gave them more, those are some words in there. And also the one we talked about, another one we talked about was in total. If you see the words in total, that's a good clue that it is an addition problem. Now, if you are reading the story problem and you come across these words, we know it's going to be subtraction. So if you hear have left or have now, how many more, or if someone had something and they gave some of that away, those would be a good clues that we're going to subtract. Let's take a look at our story problem for today. It says, Harley did 10 jumping jacks. Catherine did 9 jumping jacks. How many more did Harley do than Catherine? Okay, so it sounds to me like we're going to compare two things in this story problem. Let's read it again. Harley did 10 jumping jacks. Catherine did 9 jumping jacks. How many more did Harley do than Catherine? So we're comparing how many jumping jacks, okay, that each girl did. So let's circle and mark the important, let's circle the numbers that are important and we'll underline the important words, okay? Harley did 10 jumping jacks. That's important. 10 what? 10 jumping jacks. Okay. Catherine did 9. That's an important number. Jumping jacks. And then we also want to think, what are we going to do to solve this? So our next important words are going to tell us whether we are adding or subtracting. Because we already know the numbers, 10 and 9, but what are we going to do? We don't know yet. So let's read the rest. How many more did Harley do than Catherine? This part right here, how many more? Those are important words. Let's go back into our chart, our poster, to see if we can't figure out which one. Looking for these words. How many more? Do we see how many more? Oh, here we go. How many more? How many more? Those words are clue words that tell us that we are going to subtract, and we're going to need to use the minus sign. So I'm going to use the minus sign, and I'll put my equal sign over here. Then we'll put the numbers in the number sentence. We start with the biggest number when we're subtracting, and that's 10. 10 minus the other number is 9. And we have to figure out our answer, which would be equals, we don't know. So we'll just put a little box there, and we'll fill it in, okay? You know what? I'm going to make my equal sign a little bit bigger. There we go. Make sure that you can see it on the camera. All right, now I've got to think about my picture for this. It seems like, let's go over here. It seems like if I'm comparing two things, I want to have kind of like two drawings or two things in the drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 10. I'll use dots because that's what I like to use because it's simple. 10 dots to represent the 10 jumping jacks. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I want to double check how many I wrote, so I'm going to recount those. Because if I get my drawing wrong, even by one, it's going to mess up my whole answer. So I'm going to double check that I drew 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now, I need to draw the 9. I'm not going to draw jumping jacks. I'm going to draw 9 dots because that'll be easier. Now, because I'm comparing the two, I'm going to draw my 9 dots right here with the 10 dots, okay? Because I'm comparing the two. Some of them are going to be the same. I want to find out the difference. Remember the difference? So I'm going to draw 9, and I'm going to draw them right underneath here so I can easily tell the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now I'm going to look for the difference. If it's the same, I'm going to cross it out. That's the same. 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 That is not the same. So, what's not the same, that's how many more Harley did than Catherine. That's how many more. That's our difference. So how many more did Harley do than Catherine? 1. That's our difference. That's our answer. That's our answer. 10 minus 9 equals 1. That is the difference. That's the difference. 10 minus 9 equals 1. And I didn't leave much room here, but I want to make sure that I put a label with it or a unit. So I'm going to put, I don't have a lot of room. Instead of putting jumping jacks, the whole big long words, I'm going to put J for jumping and J for jacks. J for jumping jacks. Okay? Good job, friends.